Hi, Mai. Welcome to Career Chat with Raji. How are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm very well. Thanks, Raji.
We just had that conversation. But anyways, welcome. Okay, Mai, before we start this conversation, I like to let everyone know we're talking about mentorship, community, and the work that you've done and the people that you've inspired. I'm definitely one of them. So before I start talking about you, I would hand it over to you and you can tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, quick introduction. My name is Mai. I have been a developer in the past 5 years. Currently, I am a developer at ThoughtWorks. We have been with ThoughtWorks for over 3 years. That is my full-time job. And in my spare time, I do a lot of things. Like I volunteer for Code Like a Girl, I volunteer for She Loves Data, and I also volunteer for organizing Vox Days conference in Australia. It's a tech conference for developers as well. And in addition to all that, in my spare time, I love talking to people.
Yes, you do. I know that. See, that's what I'm saying. You do a lot for the tech community. You do a lot for women in tech, for girls in tech and STEM. And that's, I think, absolutely commendable. I remember I first got in touch with you for one of these events that you were helping organize, one of the AWS events, I suppose. Unfortunately, I didn't get to speak there, but the best thing that came out of it was I got to know you in kind of person, but this is the first time we are meeting face to face. But yeah, so we'll dive straight into what I want to know about you and what I would want everyone to know about you. What is your drive, or what's this? When did you start uh, organizing all these events, and what was your drive for it?
Wow, thinking back about that, yeah, it's really hard to actually specifically pinpoint when I actually did that because everything became or started very naturally for me. But maybe it started out when I first got my first job.
Okay.
So I think that the main drive behind why I'm doing what I have been doing in the past few years is just because of how I start out in my career. When I first started out in my career, it was really a challenging phase for me. I graduated from uni. It was so hard for me to find my first job as a developer. It took me a lot of attempts, and that lasted me for a year and a half or so of me trying to find a job as a developer. And eventually I gave up after a year and a half, and then I got married, and then I decided, hey, maybe coding is not really a career for me because it's so hard to find a job. Maybe women or girls are not supposed to be a developer.
Oh,
So
wow.
I gave up when I got married.
Okay.
Stayed home for a few years, looking after my two kids. I had two kids. Looking after two
Yeah.
kids, and I found that something was missing for me then. Yeah, it was just a very monotonous day-to-day activities for me. Wake up in the morning, looking after doing the house chores, looking after kids, and doing all those things. Even though it brought me joy because of my family thinking, but for me internally, I felt like something big was missing in it. I found excitement. I found the motivation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at that point in time, I say I have to do something because I want to do more. I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel that joy of waking up every morning that I have something I do. So at
Absolutely.
that point in time, I made the decision that, hey, let's try coding again.
Wow. Okay.
I tried coding again. And at that point in time, luckily, a friend of mine referred me to a contracted job as a developer.
Okay.
I accept to do that contracted job. Um, and since then on, I feel like I start finding excitement and motivation again. I realize again that coding is what I really want to do. I want to feel the happiness, the achievement every time I finish building an application. That achievement, that happiness is
It's something
Seriously,
else.
it's
Yes,
something
yes.
else. It's like, oh my God, this is what I want to feel like. I want to be motivated. I want to be excited. I want to wake up every morning and just do all these things. And that's when I say, I want to find a permanent job as a developer.
Right.
And that's when I start out on my career. And that was also my main drive for what I have been doing in the past few years.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
want to help those people, or especially women, um, to go through, to not have to go through that phase, like giving up on coding and then coming back and then find a job, all those challenges.
Yeah.
I wanted to use my own experience and my lessons, and help them to actually ease out on their own career.
Awesome. And you've done a fabulous job with it, Mai, I have to say. So, Mai, which was one of your first mentoring or community work or volunteering work that you did?
My first one, it's really hard to say when my first mentoring.
One of the first.
A lot. I think maybe my first one was 3-4 years ago. Maybe slightly after I joined Total, maybe
Right.
just around that time. And that was not a deliberate choice that I wanted to be someone's mentor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was more like, because at that point in time, yeah, I always had this doubt in me. I am not suited to be someone else's mentor.
I hear you. Yeah, I completely feel you. Yes.
Mentor to me at that point in time was something like, oh my God, mentor, you need to have this experience. You need at least 10 years of experience. You need to have this qualification. You need to be this, and that. So I always compare myself to that mentor figure, and I say, I'm not suited to be a mentor. But at some point in time, I changed my mindset.
Mm.
Maybe naturally, just through all of the initiative and seeing a lot of women or people in the events I organized or I went to, I
Yeah.
saw a lot of people struggling. And just naturally, I think naturally occurring to me at one of the events, I met someone who was struggling to find a job.
Right. Okay.
And I think that at that point in time, I told her that maybe I can help you. And then I had the first initial catch up with her. And then on, move on, I told her that maybe I can help you in the long term until you find a job. And then we start having more catch up. And eventually I became her mentor.
Wow. Okay. So that was your foray into mentoring. But I agree with you, Mai. A lot of us in general, right? It's not at what levels we are, but a lot of us, um, in both being a mentor and wanting to have a mentor, in both cases, there is a lot of inhibition that even I have experienced. Like, if you would have asked me, if someone would have come up to me and asked questions, I'm like, no, I can't be a mentor. Like you said, I don't have the right qualifications, I don't have the right experience. It takes a little bit of time to get over that mindset. And even looking for a mentor, I'm always conscious about, can I just go and ask this person, will you be my mentor? So let's talk about how do you expect, or what do you think is the right approach for someone who's looking for a mentor? Should they just go up and talk to someone, or what do you recommend to people? Does it change people to people? Does it change situation to situation?
Hmm. I think that it changed from situation to situation, from people to people. Yeah. But my choice might be quite controversial. I would not have give this advice if I was a few years before. But now, what I believe is that if you see someone that you want to be like your role model, yeah,
Yeah.
like when you look up to that person, you say, I want to be like her, I want to be like him one day, because they have all of the things I want to be like, the confidence level, all those things. Yeah. My approach is go into that person, ask them to be your mentor. Directly like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So you can approach, if you know that person, if you meet that person in an event, you can just go up to them and say, hey, my name is Mai. I really like your talk you did today, and I feel like I want to be like you one day because of all these things here. would you mind to have a catch up with me, or would you mind to be my mentor? Maybe you can approach telling that person to be your mentor after a few times of your catch up.
Makes more sense.
Yes, make more sense. Yeah, otherwise
Makes
you
more
will scare
sense.
that person. But at
Yes.
least tell them that you want to be like them just because of all these things here. You that person is your role model.
Right.
And then you and I have to say, if someone approached me like that, I would not say no.
That's you, Mai.
No, because the thing is, I put myself in their shoes. Imagine you going to an event, you found your role model in that event, or you found someone you want to be like in that event. Do you have the courage to go up to that person?
True.
And ask that person to go and have a catch up with you?
Yeah, I agree. Forget event. I had we had an event at my workplace, and we were encouraged to sort of reach out to GM levels for if you want, if they want. I was shivering just writing an email to that GM. I'm not meeting her face to face. I read that email so many times. Is this okay? Does this sound okay? Does this?
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of courage. Yes,
it takes a lot of courage for someone to do that. And I see that courage that person does, and why is that person take so much courage and approach me and wanting to stay in touch, or get to know more about me, be their mentor. True. Because that person want to be their better self. That is the only reason. That's why I cannot say no to that reason.
All right. So mentoring, how have you seen, like, one aspect of mentoring is, like you said, you were helping someone, through the job, get a job, but there's more to mentoring than getting a job, right? So what is your style of mentoring, and what different kinds of mentoring are there? Like I said, there's one where someone's looking for a job. So I want to be a developer, and I reach out to you and say, can you help me? These are my qualities, these are my skill set, and where do I lack, and how can I get this job? And then you help me through that. What other situations of mentoring have you encountered in your experience, or have you reached out to anyone with a completely different sort of mentoring request?
Even I have to say that even though you will have slightly different requests from people, reach out for you to you for help, but eventually it comes down to one similar thing. That is, that person just want to be their better self. Yes. Or just want to do better. True. Those stay the same. They just want to do their better self. So I guess that my approach for them all, I don't have a certain approach, because everyone is different.
Yes, right.
But when I first start out the relationship of mentoring, I always sit down with that person, my mentee, and we work out together what's best for us, what works out for us, what is my expectation of them, and what the expectation of me. And we sort all those things out. We sort out this is what I can do. I'm going to give you my advice and experiences. I'm going to listen to your issue, or all those things. Is that what you want, or you want something else? So we just match our experience together.
Right. Okay.
And if they match, we will start from there. Yeah. So that is the first thing I always do. And then after that, we will have regular catch up. If that person just want me to help them find a job, so it's not really mentoring.
Yes, maybe I agree with you.
So that's not really mentoring. That is just a request to help for someone. Yeah. So for me, those are there just helping someone, which I do all the time. Yeah. But those kind of starting out as just an initial request usually becomes a mentoring relationship for me.
Okay, right.
Because usually I help people find a job. Yep. Or sometimes I cannot help them find a job, but eventually I still help them along the way of finding their career goals, for example.
Yeah. Makes sense. So you, like you said, you have a certain personality. Yeah. You are an outgoing, very flamboyant person, right? You love to help people. You are a people's person. You like to have conversations with people as well. Now there's a lot of different kinds of people, right? There's people who are more introverts, or there are people who have a very different style of working than how you are. But you just said how it works, it depends. Has there ever been a situation where you've been with a mentee and realized, we are very different, for me to help that person? Has that ever been a situation like that, and you've probably asked them, referred them to someone else, or had a conversation and realized, I'm not the right person for this mentee? Does that happen?
That never happened to me. Yeah,
Mm.
just because I always had that initial conversation at the beginning.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that initial conversation is very important because it will set out the scene for how your relationship is going to be like. Yeah. So that conversation is like, hey, this is my personality. This is what I'm going to do. Are you okay with that? More like that. And the other person say like, hey, I am fine with just that. I just need someone to hear my issues, and I just want to hear from your experience, for example. So we're matching already at the initial conversation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if at that point in time it is not working, then we just say that in that case, I feel like I am not the best person to be your mentor. Let me refer you to someone I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that happened once or twice, but at the initial conversation.
At the initial yeah, which probably is helpful for anyone who's wanting to be a mentor, is to have that initial conversation and have the expectations set right at the beginning. That would be helpful. You, like you said, you mentor a lot of people. You have a family, you have 2 kids, you have your own job. Yeah. You do a lot of community work. How do you manage all this, and has there ever been a situation where there's a lot of mentoring requests and you're like, my plate is already full? It's not that I don't want to help, it's just that my plate is full. What do you do in that case? And I think this would be a question for this would be something that is helpful for a lot of people who are mentors and who struggle with saying no, because they want to be helpful, but they're not realizing how busy they themselves are. What do you do in that case?
Okay, cool. I have a lot of experience in this. First of all, how do I manage all this?
Yeah.
How I manage all my full-time job, how I manage all my activities for Code Like Girls, She Loves Dala, or DevOps Girls, even organizing Box Days conference. Yeah. Just be, I just have, how do I say that? When you have nothing to do, yeah. When you're so free, you don't really have a set things of things that you do. Yeah, you just use your time aimlessly. Yeah. But when you have something you need to do, go through the day. Yeah, you have to use your time wisely, more wisely compared to when you have so much free time.
Right. Correct.
Yes. So how do I manage my time is I spread out my day very effectively, very efficiently. Yeah.
Okay.
From 9 to 5 is my working hours for all the things that for my full-time job. And then after that, I spend 2 hours, 3 hours until 8 o'clock for my family, making dinner, cooking food, and then checking the kids' homework. And from 8 or from 9 to 10, I spend an hour every day. That's the only amount of time I can spend on working on the things I love.
Okay.
Yep. And if it's more, I spend 2 hours on that. But after that, even though I am tired, that tired at the end of the day, I want to do those things. I want to spend those 1 hour or 2 hours at the end of the day to go through the things I will love doing. Just because you cannot stop. When you love doing something so much, you just have to make it work.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's your passion for giving to the community and helping others, maybe because of your experiences and who you are as a person. It probably drives you to do, and like you said, you love doing it, so you make time for something you love to do.
Yes. So you have no other way around but it. You just have to make it work because there is no other solution for you. Yeah. So adding on to that, answering to your questions. I have many times and see, so I only have an hour, 2 hours to do
Yeah,
the things that I love doing every day. Yeah. How can
yeah,
I fit in all my time for mentoring, all the other things? Yeah. Sometimes I will not have time to do all those things. Yeah.
yeah,
What I have done so far is it would be unfair for me, my well-being, and for the other person well-being as well, if I just say yes, despite my busy schedule. When I feel like I cannot commit to that relationship 100%, even 90%, yeah,
yeah,
I will say no, I cannot do it. And that is not because I don't want to do it, but it's because I know I won't be able to commit 100%. It's not fair for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in addition to give that reasoning, I will tell that person that, but I will help you find another person
Mm,
that is more suited than me.
got
I
it.
usually do not let that person struggling.
You can't do that.
I can't do that.
You can't do
I
that.
will have to at least find that person or refer that person or at least guide that person to the next point.
Mm,
Yes. So
yeah.
that's what I've been
So
doing.
that's it. So you said that, in case when you can't say no or you can't commit 100%, you refer to someone else. So do you have like a community of mentors, and is so if someone is coming to you from a, I want to be a developer, you'd have
Mm-hmm.
someone to refer to. If someone comes with you with a more career related issues, like, I have imposter syndrome, or I'm less confident, or I want to be able to talk more and sell myself more, there's different kinds of
Mm-hmm.
mentoring requests I'm sure you get. So do you have like a community of mentors, a community of people who you know are willing to help out? And like, if I had to go looking for a mentor, usually it's in the organization that I work. that's
Yep.
that's what I've seen has happened more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
How do people, because there's so many amazing people across the organizations, right? How do you find these people?
How do you find these people in the organizations? It's like as you just said, yeah, there are so many choices. Mentoring program, official mentoring program like Vic, ICT for women, code like girls who code, all those they offer mentoring program. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you just in organizations as well, as you just said,
Yes.
like they would offer a lot of mentoring opportunities or program for you. But don't just, my advice is to not just aimlessly go into all those communities without thinking before you do that. Yeah. Make it worthwhile, make the mentoring worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah.
By first, you have to know what you want to be like or who you want to be like. At least have some idea, rough ideas of who you want to be, or like, hey, I want to be a developer, and I want to be like this, or I want to be like the other one. So at least have some rough ideas of how you want to be, which which industry you want to be in, and is
Right.
there any company. So basically, find all those things first. And if you find a role model, as I told you, just approach that person directly and ask them to be your mentor. Yep.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any role model, you just have a very rough idea of how you want to be like. My advice is first join those communities. For example, yeah, if there are things that you love doing, like for example, if you love doing DevOps,
Yeah. Yeah.
join
Yeah.
DevOps girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Join
Makes
DevOps
sense.
girls, and then if you see someone you like in that community, ask them to be your mentor. Yeah. Otherwise, just give your honest request into Slack channel or into the community. Hey, I am just fairly new into the career, and I love to have someone to be my mentor.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so
Yeah.
so actually, so it's more about have a rough idea of who you want to be, what you want to do, join the community or join the environment that is similar to what you want to be like, and ask one of those people to be your mentor.
That's very good advice, Mai. I think, and that's how I have reached out to a few mentors as well. Is uh, I've liked some leadership styles, some management styles, and I've asked them, hey, it started off with me asking a few questions. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to do this in my role. I don't know how to do this. What is your suggestion? And that's how we've sort of I've got into some mentoring relationships with my mentors. So you are a mentor to a lot of people. Do you have mentors?
I do.
You do.
I just had a new mentor. I just had my first mentor ever
Mm.
in my whole life, career life. Yeah,
Mm.
half a year ago. Yeah, and it was through TalkWorks. So TalkWorks, we have a mentoring program for every consultant at
Okay.
TalkWorks.
Wow.
So
Okay.
so for everyone in the company, we will have a mentor. Yeah. So I
Right.
had that
Okay.
experience like just half a year ago.
Okay. And how's that? How is it being on the other side of the table? How is it being a mentee? Is it different?
How do I say? I always tell my mentees or mentor this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentors and mentee is a two-way relationship.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with you.
It's a two-way relationship. Yeah. So when I mentor other people, I share my experience, my learning journey, but also I gain back from my mentees a lot, because those are the things. For example, when that person, when my mentee just shares something about her own experience of doing something, yeah, I said, oh, I never did it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a lot of learning from mentees. So when I am actually a mentee to someone else as well, I don't I don't feel that much difference, only in the sense that maybe my mentors have a lot more experience than me, so a lot more to share to me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then when I am a mentee to my mentor, um I just still share a lot of my own experience to my mentors, and I listen to my mentors' stories and experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe there's only one difference in that that I just said as well, is that in the level experience from my mentor, because I have been assigned a mentor who has so much more experience than me. Yeah. And he's a
Yeah.
tech lead. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a tech lead. Yeah. And tech lead is something I never been, which I want to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's more about me listening to my mentor, how he became a tech lead.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. So we are all talking about a lot of, career mentorship. Career is not just, that's my opinion. Career is not just about, can you just build, so I want to be a developer, so can you build these skill set or learn Node.js or learn Golang or learn React and you will be a developer. That's one style and one way of mentoring, one situation. But aren't there other situations where someone just needs help in overcoming some inhibitions or trying to understand how to navigate career? How does that work? And the other question in relation to that is, not everyone opens up easily. People find it hard to talk about their situations, or just just take a longer time to open up to other people. How do you um, get your mentees to open up more to you?
Okay. I think that the key in here is try not to be a nosy person.
Fair enough.
The thing is human is very complicated. Yeah. We
Absolutely.
want to be open up when we feel safe.
Yes, that's right.
And that is the key. Yeah. Your mentee can only open up, want to share their experience only when they feel safe with you. Yeah. And how can they feel safe with you? And that is because they know that you care for them, and this is a safe place for them to say whatever they think, and they know, they trust that you will not judge them.
Yes.
That is the key. So that's why I say don't be a nosy person. Because the nosy person does not care about the other person. So come to so when you want to hear more, when you want your mentee to start sharing more things with you, be genuine, be
Yes.
honest, and be transparent in your motivation of why. Yeah. So just care. You just need to care for your heart. That,
Right.
hey, I care for you. And that is not just because I'm pretend to care for you, but show that you really care, and show that why you ask this question is just because you want to understand more about them. Because when you cannot understand about someone else, you cannot really help them.
True. True.
So
True.
just
True.
So my advice is to just be genuine, be honest, care for that person, and make that person feel safe with you.
Love it, Mai. And one, I need to wrap this up. We both have works to do, but before I wrap it up, I have just a few more questions to you. How has this mentoring and working with community? How has this enriched your life other than just career development? Um, has it changed anything or made a difference to how you think or how you perceive life or how you perceive humans, people?
Things change. Doing all the community work, doing all the social activities for Collide Girl, Workstage, Lazada, Devils Girls, all those things really make me, how do I say that? Really make me grow myself as well. And
Yeah.
when I say grow myself, as in increase my self-awareness and increase my self-reflection. When I meet someone, they share their story with me, they share their experience with me, they make me think back about
Yeah.
my own experience. And when I think back about my own experience, I questioning why I chose a certain decision, why I chose to act a certain way. Why did I do that? So I had to understand myself better. And when I understand myself better, I say, oh, okay, so this is why I did certain thing this way. In that case, maybe I can tell her them
Mm.
that I had the same experience as you. And this is how I saw, or this is how I react to that situations. So being helping out, volunteering for all the community work, I met a lot of people. And every
Yeah.
time I met someone, I became their mentors or I just became their friends, all those things. They help me a lot with self-awareness,
Mm.
self-reflection. And as I start understanding myself more, I can actually help the other person more. And
Yes.
I can see the change in that person, and it motivates me more to do even more than that, to give back to the community.
Yeah, that's very beautiful, Mai. That's really it's the person you are. It's you're a very genuine and honest person. And this I'm saying based on my first in-person interaction with you. I know how long it's taken both of us to get here and talk, but you are an absolutely fabulous person, Mai. And it's uh I thought I understood mentorship and how people approach mentorship because maybe I'm a different person, I have a different approach. But what you've just said is so authentic and so genuine. And I think it stems out of the fact that you really care for people. And that just shows. And I think hopefully all of us can care for other people as much as you do. It's hard. It's a hard job, but it's been amazing talking to you about mentoring, mentorship. If you had, before we close this, last question, if you had to give one advice to a mentor and one advice for a mentee, just a key advice, what would that be?
Okay, so my advice to a mentor or maybe a potential mentor is that don't question yourself that whether or not you can be a mentor. You can always be someone else's mentor, just purely based on your life journeys. Yeah,
Yes.
your life journey can help someone else. So whenever you see someone struggling, just approach that person and give your life experience. That action, that little act might have changed their life.
Mm,
And
that's
for
true.
me, an advice for the mentee is that, as I told you, controversial. If you find someone you like, if you find your role model, don't be afraid. Approach that person with a genuine, honest heart. Just
Yes.
be genuine and say, exactly, I am not a stalker. Stalker, I really admire you and I want to be someone, I want to be confident like you. Just be
Yeah.
genuine and that person might change, that act might change their heart and make them your mentor.
Yes. No. Thank you very much, Mai. That's very wise advice for mentors and mentees coming from someone who knows what this truly is because you've done so much work for the tech community. I think a lot of people would be very grateful to have met you in their lifetime. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. And hopefully the people that who watch us get a lot from this, and hopefully you're not bombarded with mentoring requests and I hope you have time for them. So thank you very much again, and I will talk to you soon.
Oh my God, thanks, Raji.